here. First Malkin's moment, DeSean Jackson kind of made his debut with the Rams yesterday. The 34-year-old became the 9th player in NFL history to record at least 10 75-yard touchdown passes. This is a guy who's 34 years old this year, signed a 1-year deal with the Rams, and he had a 75-yard touchdown reception from Matthew Stafford that he took to the house. The Rams ended up winning 34-24, big-time performance, and that was a big-time play right to open up the second half. So DeSean Jackson can still fly. He's still one of the best deep threats in the NFL, and it was fun to watch. Glad the Rams have him. Congrats to him on that accomplishment. Speaking of the Rams, Matthew Stafford had a fantastic performance yesterday and has now 9 touchdowns through the first 3 games of the year, which ties him with Hall of Famer Kurt Warner in 1999 for the most touchdowns in a Rams uniform through the first 3 games. Matt Stafford has tied Kurt Warner's accomplishments in that department. And this was perhaps the best NFL story from the weekend. It was absolutely sensational. Justin Tucker. I was going crazy on Twitter yesterday. Justin Tucker wins the game for the Baltimore Ravens over the Detroit Lions with an NFL record 66-yard field goal kick in the final seconds against the Detroit Lions to propel the Ravens to a 19-17 win over the Detroit Lions. He is the most accurate NFL kicker of all time. He's arguably and pretty universally regarded as the greatest NFL kicker of all time. He's the clutchest NFL kicker of all time. In fact, he just improved his stats. He's 16 for 16 on field goals in the final minute of regulation. Now, not only was this 66-yard field goal an NFL record and a personal record, but it surpassed Matt Prater's 64-yard field goal record that he accomplished in 2013. And the funny thing is, this is actually deja vu for Justin Tucker because his previous career high was from 61 yards out. And where did he hit that? Was at Ford Field just 8 years ago in Detroit. The last time the Ravens played against the Detroit Lions in Detroit was 8 years ago, and it was Justin Tucker who hit a game-winning 61-yard field goal, and at the time, that was his career high, and he follows that up, returning to the same spot where the incident happened, and he hits it from 66 yards out. In fact, Lamar Jackson felt badly that he didn't bring him a little bit closer after he had just converted an incredible 4th and 19 play to Sammy Watkins for 37 yards with about 19 seconds left. And apparently, there have only been 7 go-ahead field goals of 60-plus yards in the final minute of NFL history, and Tucker is the only kicker with multiple ones, according to the Elias Sports Bureau. And both have come now at Ford Field for Justin Tucker. Absolutely sensational. Then a couple in baseball, Giancarlo Stanton of the New York Yankees, who are riding high right now. They swept the Boston Celtics. Oh, Jonah. The Boston Red Sox yesterday over the entire weekend, and have now jumped the Red Sox in the wild card standing. He goes in 3 games, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs for Giancarlo Stanton, including 2 home runs in one of the games on Saturday. It was absolutely sensational. He's been firing. Finally, we're starting to see this team connect and click offensively for the Yankees. They're now atop the wild card standings in a big win at Fenway, series at Fenway. Major performance by him. The Blue-Ray second baseman Marcus Seimon hit his 43rd home run of the season, which actually ties an MLB record for the most home runs in a single season for a second baseman. So the second baseman for the Toronto Blue Jays accomplished that yesterday. We're starting to see some of these numbers, and he's been doing extremely well this year for a Blue Jays team that's also been impressive. Obviously, you combine that with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., with Vladdy, who I believe he's got 46 home runs. I need to check that. I think he's atop the MLB record for that. And then finally, in golf, the USA wins the Ryder Cup over Europe in a historic fashion, mind you. The U.S. squad broke the record for the most points scored and the largest margin of victory with a 19-9 blowout over Europe. And that was obviously the first time that we kind of saw a little kumbaya moment between Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. They seem to have mended the fences and have worked out whatever personal beefs that they had with one another, and they came together and led the USA to a blowout dominant win. We saw a tearful Rory McIlroy talking about how special this tournament is, this event is. It takes place every 2 years, so you have to wait a little bit every time. But big time win for the U.S. No question about it. Well, that's about all the time that we have for you today, finishing a couple minutes early. You're watching and listening to Morning Joe right here every single Monday and Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 to 11 Central, and 8 to 9 a.m. Pacific. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube page, Morning Joe with Jonah Malkin. Follow me on Twitter at morning_Joe_, or follow me at Jonah Malkin on Twitter, on Instagram, jmalk97, TikTok, Jonah Malkin, all that jazz. And as always, have a lovely rest of your morning.